Good afternoon. My name is Janae Brown, and I will be presenting a study on the Avahan AIDS Initiative connection to the theory of planned behavior. In this presentation, I will have a brief history on the Avahan Initiative, components of the programs involved, defining the theory of planned behavior and discussing how it relates to the initiative, and talking about what alignment to other theories may be occurring. So first, let's talk about condom usage in India. India holds 10% of the world HIV population. This comes from the commercial sex industry. The majority of these individuals that are infected include sex workers, the clients and partners of these workers, and men-on-men contact that may occur, and injection drug users such as heroin users. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation started the Avahan Indian AIDS Initiative in 2003, which we're going to speak on next. In 2004, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation launched the Avahan Initiative to help develop an HIV prevention program in India to help promote others in India and worldwide to practice safe sex and to help eliminate the increasing risk of HIV. The research was conducted to find different ways to help eliminate these disparities and which ways would be best for the community. Their goals was to increase condom usage. They wanted to do this by increasing access and availability throughout the whole entire India participating countries. They wanted to also decrease the STI and HIV rates. They wanted to do this by increasing testing centers, female condom usage through education, and the accessibility to condoms in the first place. They wanted to do this through various different platforms, which we will talk about next. With the Avahan Initiative, there is various program techniques that were taking place that allowed the initiative to be so successful. Some of the program components included targeted interventions. These were interventions that help raise awareness among high-risk groups that include single men and truckers that would drive into these hot zone towns that had a very large commercial sex industry. Some of these interventions included behavior change interventions, treatment for STIs, monitoring access to condoms, ownership building, and enabling environmental factors. Another one of these components include condom promotion. Here they wanted to aim to integrate the use of family planning and the prevention of HIV and STI using various channels. This included social marketing, commercial outlets, condom vending machines that were placed in various hot zones to allow further access to condoms, and even female condoms given to various sex workers to help prevent the spread of diseases further. Another component was blood safety. According to a 2010 Indian Journal of Community Medicine article, the National AIDS Control Program wanted to ensure via the National Blood Transfusion Service that they were providing safe and quality blood to all its donee recipients. They wanted to do this by strengthening the infrastructure of facilities and storage centers, ensuring that regular voluntary blood donors on a consistent basis was the main resource of the blood supplies that did not have HIV. They wanted to develop a long-term policy to develop efficient and sufficient blood transfusion, and wanted to make it mandatory that testing for all units for HIV, hepatitis B and C, syphilis, and malaria, no matter what. Another component was integrated counseling and testing services. Most government hospitals did allow STI and HIV testing. However, they did wish to expand this to rural areas, mobile-free clinics, and private institutes to ensure that all individuals who did not have access to health care or are near a proper facility could benefit from the counseling and testing of these areas. These facilities also were going to be a large tool of promotion of great health behavior changes. Another component includes various information, education, and communication tools. The National AIDS Control Program had various extensive campaigns that were used to raise awareness. They did this through mass media, via commercials, via newscasts. They also did thematic campaigns and outdoor interpersonal campaigns in theaters, such as the various industry theaters that they would have, the various peer education they would have, and pamphlets they would have these individuals hand out as well. They also had things like Red Ribbon Express, and for the adolescents education program, they will use the Red Ribbon Clubs in various places. So, what is the theory of planned behavior? The theory of planned behavior is created by Avahan in 1991 to help understand relationships between attitude, intentions, and behavior. The idea was humans are rationals, and this is guided by 4 different considerations. You have the behavior intention, attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavior control. However, this must take in favor of different circumstances that may occur. So now we have to take in consideration the initiative and how does it align with the theory of planned behavior. For example, at first we have the behavior intention. This is the perceived likelihood of performing the behavior. In this case, the behavior would be whether or not they use condoms. It will be how likely the target audience would be to perform this behavior. Within the initiative, it aligns via the program's research that was conducted. You have qualitative and quantitative research that was conducted through the integrated behavioral and biological assessments. Here, participants responded to questions that ranked their likeliness to use condoms, how often they would actually use these condoms, if they're partaking in commercial sex industry, where and when and how often they actually did. This helped allow the researchers to pinpoint the action, target, context, and time as it relates to their theories about this as well, according to the theory of planned behavior. With attitudes, you have the personal evaluation of behavior. Is it good, bad, or neutral in the individual lives? According to the Volume 2, 2008 edition of Cases in Public Health, Communication, and Marketing, some of these same assessments used in the behavior intention were used to determine the role of the various societal factors of the individual decision to use condoms. It was found that they were 5 times more likely to use condoms if they had positive beliefs on the matter in the first place. The theory of planned behavior has another step called subjective norms. This is beliefs on what an important individual within a person's life approve or disagree with. In other words, they're seeking approval from that person. In other words, do people agree with you? Do this person see the same as you do when it comes to this behavior? If not, the individual may be likely to sway their opinion to match the opinion of the person they're admiring. In a word, basically peer pressure. According to the Cases in Public Health, Communication, and Marketing, individuals were twice as likely to use condoms if peers approved, thus showing the impact peers or people they deemed important have on another. Another one would be perceived behavior control. This is believing one can control the performing behavior. In other words, do you think you can actually control the behavior from happening? Do you actually take fault in what's happening or what you're doing? Based on the ignorance and prior knowledge that we have been able to see in the research polls, we cannot fully say that individuals feel as they could not have controlled the behavior or they did not have any control of the behavior. However, we can take in consideration of the fact that it was a shown 18% increase of condom usage via the marketing, peer education, and campaigning that was done throughout these hot zones. So it could be said that after educating, eliminating the lack of knowledge, the ignorance, and having the availability of condoms, that individuals began to have an idea of a perceived behavior control, and they understood at that point that they could change the behavior. So, does the initiative align with any other theories or models? You have the health behavior model. This is a model that is based on cognitive process with a perceived value and placed on outcome with an expectation it will result in an outcome. You have to it defines the population at risk, which in this case was sex workers, their partners, the men-on-men contact that may occur, and anybody that are habitual drug users that include needles. You also have the way they delivered the information to these high-risk groups. They use theaters, peer education, and pamphlets to give various people the information needed to understand the importance of condom usage. Through this peer education, they were able to see the consequences that could occur without using condoms, as in STIs and HIV. And then they understood that the use of condoms will help decrease these risks for everyone, including themselves. Allowing constant usage of condoms, availability and access to all, and ability to treat STIs allows constant information and resources that will help overall decrease the risk in general, which aligns completely with the health behavior model. This includes my conclusion, and these are my references. I thank you for your time, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.